GameWorn Radio, part of GameWorn.us. Don't have the intro quite the way we want, but that's all right. Doc Noise running the boards. Derek in Nashville, Dan Day, Tom Vore. Got a full house, as it were. Anybody else wants to join in, they are more than welcome to. Going to talk a little bit of everything in the way of Game Warns, wrapping up into getting into the playoffs more, seeing a lot of equipment sales pop up, all that good kind of stuff. What's going on, gentlemen?
Not much, man. What's going on with you?
It's a 75-degree day. Definitely doesn't feel like hockey weather.
It's crappy here today, man. It rained all day.
Same here.
We have anybody that's watching the feed. We only have one of us on video. I didn't want to kill our bandwidth, so we have the masked Marvel drinking. And
they can't see it, unfortunately, because your screen size isn't matched up good. So if you drag and drop it, they'll be able to see his face.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Like that? That's a good look for Tom.
Check your OBS output. It's a little bit better, but still can't see his stupid face.
That's good. You don't need to, really. That's why the mask is on.
Dude, it's terrible. Everybody needs to see it.
No, it's not. You're terrible.
Oh my God, there it is.
So game worn wrestling masks will be the next big thing. So what do we hit on tonight, gentlemen? The Blues did another auction the other day, and no jersey sold more than $1,100. They sold their home set twos, which still had the 100th patch on it, and I think they wore them for 8-9 games.
They must have just put them back on then, didn't they? They must have.
Because they did the set ones not long ago. Then they posted these Thursday, Friday last week. Tarasenko sold for like $1,087. Jake Allen's, which is right up there too, but everybody else's didn't sell for much more than the minimum. A lot of them sold for the minimum. But I think, again, the Blues and a lot of teams, the market's flooded.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, when they're making, the average, 2 sets a year, and they still got some from last year and stuff like that.
Well, the Blues are wearing, because this is only the first half of the season, so there's 2 more sets at least out there. They usually wear 4, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, if you make the playoffs, then teams have playoff sets.
Which is then 5, at least for St. Louis anyway, it's 5.
Jeez. Right. And not every team does, like archives a set or, it's just I don't know if there's a right balance to it. You got some teams like that we all know the Maple Leafs are holding their jerseys like Tampa Bay did for years, and then when they finally release them, you get flooded, And
then they bitch because they're not making money.
Right.
No, the important part is we need to grow the hobby.
Yeah.
And it needs to be a balance between teaching teams about the hobby, because as I say, both Dan Day and I can share the story of Dallas and the person we started talking to at the beginning of this season, and they had no clue. And I know David Ambrosio went down there on a trip, happened to stop and meet the same person Dan and I are talking to, and he filled her in on both the Game Worn side, and they do a lot with their goal puck program. Explained a lot of that.
Yeah, I think on a lot of teams, I should say most teams, it's given to somebody not very knowledgeable, like an entry-level position. Like, hey, just sell this for us. Some teams don't want to deal with this, so they give it to Migrate or maybe another company.
The thing is, they don't care and people don't understand marketing. It's a really simple thing. I mean, I don't know how many teams I've talked to about stuff that just, they really don't get it. They don't care. I mean, I'm lucky with the Crunch that they're, interested in listening, which is cool. But the hardest part is just lack of care. And the thing is it should be a symbiotic relationship.
Right.
Plain and simple. when it comes down to the brass tacks, is we should be, the hobby as a whole should be like advising each other of when sales are and things like that. So teams sell their jerseys. Teams should be advising fans of the hobby so they can join us and then buy more stuff. I mean, it should be a symbiotic thing, but unfortunately, teams see themselves as, a one-trick pony, and they market to their fans, their local people. They pay no mind to anybody outside of their local area, even though teams have plenty of fans from the outside, and it is what it is. That's the situation that we're in. Is they just teams, honestly, from everything I've seen, very few teams really care about the fans that are not in the local area. It's like they only care about the people that are buying tickets.
No, and you're right, but and I've talked about it before too, and I think others of us have as well. Is if you're selling them at the game, that's when people are thinking about game-worn jerseys. Once they leave the arena to go home, while it may be kind of in the back of their mind, it really isn't like it would be when it's going on there. If that makes sense.
Well, it's because nobody really kind of advises them of it. Like, here's how far it goes. Is, hey, we're having a game-worn jersey auction. Okay, cool. And then boom, that's it. That's the end of it. They're not like, hey, and by the way, you can get more game-worn jersey information of us on such and such community website. That's what we've been trying to do with GameWorn.us is bring people to the website so they start learning about the hobby. One of the things I've been trying to advise the Crunch on is, creating one sole source of stuff. So like your local fans, that's cool. I see so many of them with jerseys, but we don't see very many of them on any of our pages. We don't see very many of them like going to the website, things like that. People don't know about this stuff unless you drive them to that place. If you drive people to a centralized place, they start learning about more stuff. They start spreading out, branching out. You get more people in the hobby. You get more fans of your team, so on and so forth, and the ball rolls. But that's marketing, and you got to be smart for that. And unfortunately, you don't see a lot of that right now because everybody's just on this social bandwagon.
I've got an idea. I've got an idea.
I bet it's terrible.
Fellas, here's what you do. Okay,
Nope.
go on LinkedIn and get LinkedIn Premium, right? And then you can search for people by their job title, and then search for CEO, and then just keep adding them to your LinkedIn, and then just mass send them information on your GameWorn auction, and then you'll have like all the rich people seeing your auction, which is what you really want, because you just want to make money.
Yeah, and the teams do want to make a lot of money, and some of their pricing is nuts. Depending on,
It's crazy.
You
Ridiculous.
you can talk about it for Detroit. I think is pretty high. Some teams are more. It's equipment.
Kings.
Yeah, the Kings. Some teams look at it. Yep, it's just equipment. Let's get rid of it, make some money. Others put a premium on it because whoever the hell wore it. So it's finding that balance. And I know even like Michigan had their sale this past week, University of Michigan. And I saw a lot of people pick stuff up. I didn't see a lot with pricing though. It sounded like it wasn't crazy expensive, but it wasn't cheap either. The Milwaukee Admirals just put their sale out today. It's going to be 2 days, June 12th and 13th. So if anybody in the Milwaukee area or somewhere around there want to go to Milwaukee, the June 12th, it's for season ticket holders, and then the next day is 11 to 7 for everybody else. Game-worn jerseys, sticks, equipment. It's just priced significantly below retail.
Is that what it
I think a lot
says?
of lower level teams kind of just try and get the stuff out of there and make whatever money they can.
I think that's what collectors should be looking towards more now. I never looked at it that way when I first got into the hobby because, I mean, I guess it's all relative because I'm not rich, so it's all based on what I can afford. But I mean, now it just seems like if you're really a hobbyist and you're getting into it for the jersey itself and not the player, and not the notoriety of the player, then it's like a much more honest and practical way to go about jersey collecting.
It would be nice, but you see how many people, like all the new people, join in groups and trying to get into it, and they're like, "I want my favorite player's jersey," and then people are like, "All right, well,
you can understand that too, right?"
And they're like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, people don't understand what kind of price tags are being attached to a lot of these, and I think that's part of the education process. Is we've seen it both ways. Is selling when you get people that aren't well educated, they think the stuff should be super cheap, and in some cases, it's what the market will bear too. When you have a flooded market of teams, the stuff overall is going to be cheaper, even the star players.
Well, that's why the other guy said he was going to call.
But it's a
and that whatever he did. I don't know what the process is. I've never had to do it.
A difficult process all the way around, really.
But
Is
he's
trying to
basically
educate
put it out
people
there.
and
Just
also.
psycho that
Dan, mute your mic, man.
So she's like, I need to go for your claims, your coverage, your liability, your.
Yeah.
Dan?
But do they have enough coverage, though? That's the real question we need to ask ourselves.
They can hear you.
Dan's wife have enough coverage?
Oh,
I'd say no. It sounds like she's really
I
indecisive.
don't-
We just like giving Dan a hard time when we can pick up background noise. But
Yeah.
it's difficult because a lot of it I think pricing dictates is how your team does during the year, because a lot of the Blues fans, for example, I don't know when our equipment sales coming up, but the market's going to be down because everybody's pissed at the quality of the play this year, and that plays into both what people are buying and what people are
I think
selling.
that matters in 10 years from now, when no one can, they'll say, oh, they didn't make the playoffs that year. But does that really matter over another year where they did make the playoffs and get kicked out of the first round?
Long term, I don't think so. Short term, yes.
It depends on the player.
Yeah, that too. But thinking right now, as the Blues, and before you came on, Marco, I was talking about the Blues did a auction of their set 2 homes, and most of them, they started all their jerseys except for a couple at $500. Most sold between $500 and $700. Tarasenko sold for $1,087. Jake Allen was right in that too. Everybody else was under $1,000. Part of it.
That's all right. That's good.
But you've seen them sell for much higher than that. But I think it's a combination.
Well,
of
it's because of Fanatics stuff, right? They were all Fanatics, right?
It's this year is the first year the Blues have done it. It's been kind of half-assed because they use that stupid text bidding BS, and they're passing
the savings along to the collector, though.
Yeah,
right?
But because they're also putting out so much of them, so many different jerseys, and one auction right after another. And even when they post them, I go look for everybody else, see what kind of wares out there, and I put them on our Blues Facebook page saying, hey, this one's got this. But it's even just that kind of stuff is how they take their pictures. It's so inconsistent, so it's hard to tell really what you're getting. And even the set stamps, when the Blues put out their set 1s, it said dated opening day till sometime in November. The problem is they did a whole nother set of just opening night jerseys with the set stamp that said opening night. So down the road, you'd even get questions of, well, wait, this said it was worn on the first opening night game, and so did this one. But it's frustrating to see just a lot of inconsistencies, but I wish there was a way to get all the teams together and pick the good and the bad from different teams. Because was it Vancouver that does some really good LOAs and boxing and that, where other teams it's like, here's a bag and just throw it in it and here's your jersey.
Well, I'm ultimately conflicted on all of this, because I would really love to see a one-size-fits-all resource. I would really like to see teams talking with the collector, learning from us, figuring out what we want. I'd like them to be able to figure out marketing better. But even internally within our own hobby, we have just conflicts within ourselves. Like, we all can't get along. We all want to push different resources. Like, I mean, hell, I just contributed to fragmentation by creating a new group, but it's because nobody can get along and be fine with everybody else. And, everybody wants to be able to have free speech, say what they want, and it gets too far. And then it's like, what do you stand for? And
okay, but look, the teams don't give a fuck about that stuff. They don't look at the Facebook group and they're like, we need to connect with the Facebook group. They'll just be like, here you go, migrate, sell our shit. That's kind of it's probably what they should do.
Well, and I will say, in the case of the Blues, the guy that started their program or took it this year actually went to the Blues GameWorn page and said, hey, let me introduce myself. I'm doing this. He's been non-responsive, really, since he posted that out there. Because we've all been trying to say, hey, you guys are doing this half-assed. Here's how you do it better. So they kind of attempted, but so many teams, it's an afterthought, just a way to make some more money.
Yeah, well, but
the brass tacks is they don't care. It's so low level for them, and they don't care even enough to pass the buck.
I definitely agree with that.
Do what's easiest. It's literally what's easiest.
But as a business, if you look at it as a business, should they care?
Of course they should. Here's the thing: is if I have a business,
make zillions of dollars off of this.
No, if I have a business, I can choose to make $0 or $5. $5 is more than zero, so I'm going to take the option to take $5.
Yeah, I understand that, and obviously, yeah, as long as you get beyond, if you can hire a guy for $40K or $50K and they make you $100K, it's good business practice. But
everything that you should do should be to maximize
portion of the pie.
It is in the grand scheme of things, but when you compartmentalize it, it's not. Like, I'm already paying that guy to do something, so if he makes more money for what he's doing, he's paying for himself more.
I'm with you, man. There's no counter argument really, but they're just not. Most teams are not doing it, or
correct,
or they're doing it. We're complaining that they're charging too much for their stuff. So where does it end, man?
Well, for them, it's a balance because we say they're charging too much for their stuff, and it's because we see the same stuff every year for the same price, and it doesn't move, and then they don't discount it.
Yeah, that I find strange.
Everything is so.
But you know what? Maybe they can off-sell it to a card company or something like that. Like maybe they got a back door that we're not taking into account, and
Well, card companies can only take so much stock, and they have so many jerseys right now to cut up that they can recycle them almost indefinitely. Like one jersey can probably, because it's 2-ply, can go into maybe like 10,000 cards.
Well, I will say that the Flames, when they do their jersey sales, this year will be full price, but last season's will be, I think it's 30% off is what they take, something like that, and then the season before that is 50% off because they get that stuff and they want to move it. They don't want it. The
Flames always do a good job, though.
Yep, they do.
I don't think anyone's ever had anything bad to say about the Flames program. It's always been wicked,
And it gets.
They moved all their stock.
What's that?
Sorry. They always move most of their stock, and everyone is always really happy. I've never heard anything bad about the Flames program ever. It's always been one of the best ones.
Yeah, I think so.
Because they actually care. I think they actually care about it. That's the thing.
And they have their own guy running it too, right?
Paula runs it, and
yeah,
I think
Paula.
Because she's ran it I think she's ran it for a while, and that's the difference with her and a lot of teams is she understands from an aspect of the hobby and the supply and the demand of the jerseys, and it took time. It probably took her time to do that. Maybe she did collect or not. I don't know. And where some people get the teams and they don't. We say they don't care. I just think they just don't put the right person in charge. And then when they think they get somebody in there with their college degree and they think that they know better, and I know how to market it or I know how to do it, and you're like, well, really, that's not really you're not talking to the people out of town.
Every week it's the same thing, man. We're in the social media age, so everybody's like, oh, well, I can just post a thing on social media and shit happens, and that's not how it works. You can't just be like, bleh, and this is how it happens. Like, you have to reach out to other things, and no young person in college right now understands the value of networking and reaching out, because everybody's teaching social media as a platform, and I've taken a collegiate class on social media, and pretty much the entire premise is create something that's engaging to the person and get them to perform an action on it. And it's like, you can't just run your marketing through social media because you are limited by the audience you already have.
No, you're correct. I mean, it's the platforms.
Yeah, but they keep doing it though.
Platforms have changed so much.
Doing it. Again, it's back to the. I'm a GameWorn jersey collector. I'll buy jerseys that I think are cool from any team. I don't follow every team on Facebook and Twitter because it would clog my feed and I would miss fucking everything because they post way too much bullshit that I don't care about. There is no one centralized focus for me to get the information that I'm looking for.
Well, so there's no way the teams are going to do that. So we can't do that.
We can do that, but the only way we can do that is with their help, but they don't care. They don't understand the hobby enough to know what to do.
Why we're playing the pity card, man. They're in it to make money. I don't know why we're banging our heads against the wall for this stuff. They're not going to invest a lot of money in it. They're just, the Leafs used to do real, like, GameWorn jerseys to Real Sports. That they put the kibosh on that a few months ago. Now everything's going to be to online auctions only. Mobile auctions, actually. All online mobile auctions. Just like the Canucks, right? They're not going to invest a lot of money in it.
But it's that hand bid or e-gestures, that seems to be the push, and we can go down the road of e-gestures all day long with how unsecure that one is. Hand bid isn't terrible, but
you have to download the app. I'm not interested in downloading more apps on my phone.
Right.
That's why I've never.
Or you can. It is web
opened
based
up
too,
their shit.
because I'm on the Capitals one right now. There is a web based version of it as well. It's not great, but whatever. I mean, like, I'm on the Flames. We're talking about the Calgary Flames. I'm on their site now, and they have their 17-18 jerseys listed out here. Nice professional pictures, good pricing. All that kind of stuff. And even if teams just did that and did something like that consistently, where it's open across the board. The Stars, they didn't get it to it till, what, Dan, in the last month, they started Hanger Hockey to start putting jerseys on. The pictures aren't great, but they're okay. The Wild do a good job. But if we could just have where it was easy across the board to find things. But
Let me ask you this. Who do you think does better? Do you think hand bid auctions do better or classic auctions do better?
I think classic auctions does crazy.
Now, let's ask ourselves why. Because when you're going to classic auctions, you are going there knowing what you're looking for. You can't go to hand bid and see all the shit that's available pertaining to what you want.
At the same time, though, classic auctions isn't going to give you a fucking, 2003 Sergei Bears in Jersey. They don't give a fuck about that. People go to classic auctions because that's just the best source to get. Like, if you want the crazy shit, that's what they're known for. They're known for getting the fucking insane stuff. They're not just jerseys.
Right, but it's also centralized and it's focused.
But
shit gets funneled through classic.
In most cases, that's higher end too, compared to buying.
Yeah, like the teams are going to sell
jersey from somebody.
Right. That's my point.
Listen, I'm a GameWorn jersey collector, so I know about Classic. So when Classic has their shit, I go there. When some team has their hand bid auction, I'm not following their social media, so I don't go to it, so I don't see that it's happening, so I'm not a bidder. Brass tacks, that's how it happens.
And part of and I've not been to a Capitals game, so I don't know if they push him in arena. But that's a lot of the push too. Is like I said earlier when we started talking, is there's such a push while you're at the games to get you to spend more money. That's how they're going to do it. They're going to advertise it. Hey, download the app or text here to get our auctions, and you get them as a text, so it's right in front of you, and then you'll go drop some cash.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. You're looking at and a stadium is full of 20,000 people with obvious disposable income, right? Like big time. And some of those motherfuckers have a lot of money to spend, especially the guy in the gold seats. So why don't the teams that are doing their own programs photo match their jerseys? They could take locker room pics. They have access to all this stuff. Everything. So if you go to a game 2 weeks before that, the game that they played at home, they could be selling those jerseys in-house in the stadium to all these disposable income, guys that are sitting in the front row. And have a live auction running at the same time. I don't understand why they don't do that. It's insane to me, man. It would be such good market. It's just, I don't know. I can't believe no team is doing that.
And I know there are some teams.
How many people do you think that have that disposable income are at that game and actually in their seats during intermission or paying attention to the advertisements?
For the Leafs, when every ticket is $200, I can guarantee you almost everyone there is middle to high income. There's not a lot of people that are fucking
in their seats.
Sorry?
God, at the Red Wings, when the intermission goes, all the club level people, they are gone. They are not in their seats. It doesn't matter what the fuck's happening.
They're getting beer, dude. But that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
So you auction it like around the beer gardens and all that stuff. Like there should be like an area in every stadium that that's known for like, oh, here's where you go to get the GameWorn auction. The GameWorn jersey. And if they don't sell any, I don't understand why people don't do that.
It's hard to backtrack once you're in the hobby to think what a non-hobbyist pays attention to.
I know,
I was going to say, I was at a couple of Columbus games last year, and My Gray was actually had their advertisement during the game. Like they would announce it, hey, if you like the Blue Jacket jerseys that they're playing in tonight, make sure you check on over to mygray.com and look under Columbus Blue Jackets. But that's a company. But I don't know if they did that in Dallas or the other teams, but I know Columbus, they were posting it. And they had the ad running on the whatever goes around the outside arena, on the inside.
Smart. So, and imagine you're taking your dad to his first hockey game or something crazy. They're playing on your sentimental value of this stuff, right? Like you're gonna remember that. You're gonna want those jerseys accessible. You saw the player score that goal. That's the one you're gonna want to buy. That heightens the value. Why don't they do it? I don't understand.
Well,
and maybe if you knew you would go to a game and you were seeing jerseys they wore 2 weeks ago at that stadium, then you're at the January 1st game, and you really had a good time. You see your favorite player score a goal. Maybe you'll go to the January 14th game just to see the game and get a chance to buy the jersey as well. It's just.
Are you saying sell a jersey every 2 weeks?
Oh, what do you think they're doing now? What are you kidding me?
They should just sell a jersey every game, because if you could sell the jersey for more than it costs, then you're making money. So just make a jersey for every game, because fuck the Game One community.
See, now Derek's thinking like a businessman. Now he's going to get on my LinkedIn bandwagon. See, it's all about making money, man. It's not about the hobby. It's all about
we've already said the hobby's flooded.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You see, going back to the whole disposable income thing, the teams do. And you just buy them outright. You don't have to auction them. But they do warm-up pucks now. Every freaking game, they have warm-up pucks with the home and away team on it. And then after warm-ups are over, within 20 minutes, you can go to a table and buy them between $30 and $50 a piece.
This is what I'm talking about, man.
Because that's people are going to want to buy that.
It's smart, man. That's smart business, in my opinion.
And jerseys are a little bit different, but it opens the door. It maybe get people thinking, ooh, I can buy a $30 or $50 warm-up puck from this game. And then at that same stand, you see game-worn jerseys there. And great, I may be able to get to buy it from when they open the season or whatever. That's when people are going to start cutting checks.
Yeah. We're not buying Toyota Corollas here as daily drivers that are going to go $300,000 in cheap oil changes. You're buying something based of like passion. It's what do they call it? I can't think of the name, but it's not a necessity purchase.
It's an emotional purchase.
Right, it's an emotional purchase, right?
And by the way, an expensive emotional purchase. If anybody wants to make one, I'm looking through the Calgary Flames stuff for this year. Yager jerseys are $7,500, and there is.
Then they make them wear one for every game.
There's 5
9 listed.
9.
Oh,
wow.
Oh my God, not Yager Flames.
Some of them are game issue too, I think.
These are all listed at $7,500. I'm hoping they're not listing issued ones there. They
lowered the price.
The home set
used to
one
be
jersey.
It used to be 10,000.
Yeah, the home set one jersey 4 is $10,000. All the rest are $7,500.
Well, think about it this way though: the Calgary Flames, known for running a good program, being reasonable people, you would probably reach out to them directly and say, "Hey, knock $2,000 off. You haven't, you got 5 in stock. Cut me a deal." They'll probably do it. They're reasonable that way. So even if they're listing a Yager for $7,500, it's still an approachable.
Well, it's $7,500 Canadian too. By the way, they list their prices in Canadian.
Oh,
so it's like $20.
Fuck, motherfucker! I knew that was coming. So,
and I'm just.
You had. You opened the door for that, Marco. But
yeah.
No, you're right. The longer it sits there, the more negotiating power you've got. And just like with any team, you get some of the guys that you go look through the Flames list. Some of the guys that are lower end players, they'll sit there and they've got jerseys on their site going back 2 years or more.
Yeah,
2 years.
15, 16, and they've discounted a bunch of those down to $260. That's Canadian pricing. So whatever the exchange rate is right now, if it's decent, you're getting close to $200.
I think that it also is coming to the fact is, well, team has 25 players, you got call-ups and everything like that. People have become so specialized, and that drives jerseys to sit there.
Man, it's about riding the wave. It's what's hot now, what's new, what the wave is. Like this year, the wave is the Golden Knights. You could charge whatever the fuck you wanted at the initial release. Now, reselling them, that's going to be a real bitch. But the wave is to be the first one with that jersey. If a team's doing hot, then their jerseys are going to be good. Like Tampa Bay, their jerseys, they're high right now. A while ago, when they were around, but they weren't like harboring them, they weren't that bad. Detroit Red Wings jerseys should be on the decline. Toronto Maple Leafs jerseys are probably going to be on the incline because they're not made widely available right now. And the team's doing halfway decent. Everything is really hinging on what the team is doing right now as far as prices from the team. If you really want to forecast your longevity, it's always going to be 1 year, 2 years after the team makes the jerseys available as to what the going rate is and what people will pay.
Boys, is there something else we could talk about other than the price of everything?
I hope so.
Marco,
can we talk about the playoffs?
What do you think about? What's your thoughts on the Adidas jerseys? Have you had much play, look at any of that kind of stuff?
You know what? I haven't. I would have really liked to hold one and kind of get to know how it's made and the material. But from what I can tell, they're showing pretty good wear, which is good for us, right?
And it's showing different types of wear by the pictures I've seen. It like how it burns, how the repairs are done. It seems quite a bit different.
Yeah, and you know what? Sorry.
I got to hold a Golden Knights jersey, and that was pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah. So how is it, Derek? How are the Adidas fabrics?
I didn't know if I'd like the shoulders or not, but I actually really like the shoulders. And with the Golden Knights, I don't know how many teams do it, but they have the flames on the gold stripe on the arms. And I thought that was really cool. Like it's pressed in the material. And that was really awesome. The weight of the fabric itself is pretty light. It's probably why we're seeing more wear on them or more cuts.
teams that have the perforated numbers. It's actually pretty neat perforation on it, but I feel like the number is actually thicker. It's hard to tell without actually having a loose number side by side, but it's a different material. It almost feels plasticky.
Derek, do they show burns on them? Have you seen any burns on them?
Well, the one that I held was a goalie jersey that was worn for backup only.
Any like, well, I guess paint transfer is going to be universal, but like, I would like to know, because certain fabrics, like they get board burns way better than others, right? Like the 90s jerseys had awesome board burns, but like stuff from the 80s, not so much, right? So
some of the pictures we're seeing of players wearing them, I'm wondering if like when you rub up on the boards, if it just splits the jersey open, because we've seen a lot of like holes and gashes in like shoulder areas of some of these jerseys, and I'm wondering if that it's like it's not really like ruffles, but I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, just
the shoulders.
I think you're right, Derek. It's just how it's wearing or how the burns are showing up, the way that material is melting down, or whatever word you want to use. It is different, because you do see a lot more. I've seen a lot more players, especially the lighter colored jerseys, with a lot of marks in the shoulders that you're not normally seeing.
Yeah. Doc, I noticed the same thing. I noticed, the marks, like, they don't seem to be washing out as well. Like I know what, like, if I'm watching all 82 games that year, I'll know when they do a set change right away. You get to know a player by the marks in their jersey. It's crazy, man. Like, I don't know. That's one thing I'm really excited about. The Adidas jerseys are really, even despite the fact that, they're probably not being worn as long as the traditional jerseys, obviously, but they're showing really awesome wear. You can really see it, especially through, when you're watching HD. It's awesome, man. That whole thing where they wanted to keep the jerseys clean for a long time for TV. It's not, they can't, I don't think they can hide it anymore with HD. And I think it's just like, fuck it, like, it is what it is. And that's what I love about the hobby now. When you're watching a game, you can really see all the wear on the jerseys.
Yeah, a lot more
there was
puck marks in that seem to be showing up and not washing out.
I tell you what, whoever got the William Karlsson white playoff, his sleeve, when they did a close-up after a goal he scored, his sleeve was just black for where it was supposed to be white on it. Like, and that was only after, I think it was like the third game of the season, or third game of the playoffs. And it was just like, my wife has gotten annoyed when I watch the games. I'm like, check out the wear. Look at that. You got big black marks. She's like, just watch the damn game.
Well, it's like, I'm even on... Sorry, Marco, go ahead.
No, if I could have one tip for the trainers, don't wash the jerseys, man. Keep them as is. It'd be so easy to see, but you don't have to take them to cleaners or anything like that. You don't have to press them. Just don't wash them. Throw them in the bag and let the players have them for as long as they have them. Their gloves smell like shit anyways. Their helmets are fucking disgusting. Same with the pants. So who gives a fuck about the jerseys, man? Let them be as they are. That's if I was a trainer, that's the way I would do it.
Well, and again, I'm going through some of the Flame stuff.
I'm sure they would appreciate that.
Yeah,
the goalie jerseys on the Flames. There was one that had it was a white jersey that was just covered in black marks all over.
And even look at how they've done the repairs. There's a 17-18 white Stewart. It's the away set 2, and they've been putting up extra pictures of showing some of the wear. And above the number 8 on the arm, there's actually a repair patch you can see through the material. So it's like one of those repair patches they put on the inside to bind the material together. Seen a lot more of those to hold some of those repairs together. So it's kind of interesting to see how some of the repairs on these new jerseys are coming. I may have to try and reach out to a couple trainers that I can at least get in contact with and say what their thoughts are now that had a season on them.
You guys like the shiny shield? I love that personally. I think it just pops. It makes it look really, really good,
Yeah, I was pretty skeptical when they announced that Adidas was going to do these, and I really come around once I laid my hands on one and looked at the quality. I think it's much better, because I know Dan's got a Adidas Dallas one as well, and just that material feeling is quite a bit different, but they're really slick. Any other hobby news or things you think we should hit on heavily. Playoff predictions, anybody?
I don't care. My goddamn team lost last night. So.
I was hoping Columbus would go far.
I think
we're the only team who hasn't won a playoff series.
I think the West is going to be a fun. The West out West is.
West is going to be fun. The East is going to be fun too, depending on who. I think the entire playoffs this year, actually, despite Columbus losing, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see these matchups. Like the San Jose, San Jose Vegas one, that could be really good.
And you're going to have big crowds for both that because it's such a short, relatively speaking, a short distance between the two. I can't imagine what Vegas is like for the playoff games.
That Nashville Winnipeg series is going to be good. That's some good teams. There's some good teams there. So
you can't really complain.
Don't pass.
What's that?
Winnipeg's done at Nashville. Nashville's moving on.
No. I think Nashville will move on. I just think it's going to be a good series. I
guess I feel like I'm the only one.
Nashville in 5.
I feel like I'm the only one who wants like the Jets to win. Then, because the Jets.
I'm not saying I don't want the Jets to win. I'm just saying they're not going to win.
I think barring everybody's healthy, because that's who's got the attrition is thing. I don't see teams beating Pittsburgh or Nashville 4 times in 7 games. Sorry. That's the way I see it. I think it's going to be a rematch.
Because Pittsburgh has the refs to help them out,
Yeah, whatever. If everybody's healthy. If people aren't healthy, then that changes things. They're so good, I just don't see a team beating them 4 times in 7 games.
Who's that, Dan? Sorry.
Pittsburgh and Nashville.
Pittsburgh.
Well, you don't think Winnipeg could beat Nashville? I think they could beat Nashville. I don't think it's more likely Nashville wins, but still Winnipeg.
I don't think they can do it 4 times in 7 games. Yeah. I'm not saying they won't win. I'm not saying it won't be, 4-3 or 4-2. I'm saying 4 times in 7 games, barring everybody's healthy, no major injuries. I don't see anybody beating Pittsburgh in the East or Nashville in the West.
I agree with you on Pittsburgh. It's so other than their D, but they've done that without their D before, and man, I look at the Leafs are going through with Boston. They're getting killed defensively, and if we had to face Pittsburgh, it would be game over. So I don't. It's just so hard for me to fathom how Pittsburgh would not move on in the East. It's just they're so deep.
Yeah,
all right,
that's why I said barring injuries.
Who wins in the series tomorrow with Boston and the Leafs?
Toronto.
I'm going to Toronto.
I'll probably. It's going to sound insane. I'll probably say Boston. Unfortunately,
it's in Boston, right?
Yeah, it's in Boston. I think overall they've played game for game better than us.
Well, the young guys are starting to show up, man. If Austin Matthews shows up to play, they'll win.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody needs to light a fire under his ass. Once that's lit, it's game over for anybody who's playing them because the younger guys are starting to do it. I mean, Marner's starting to rack it up. Nylander is starting to rack it up. The young guys are starting to turn it on. The only one missing is Matthews.
Nylander too. He's playing like shit. And
the last game, he turned it up last game.
I know. It's Boston. They're so well rounded. It's really.
You always got to put that 20% chance that the refs are going to throw Marchand out because he's a punk little bitch.
I hope they do. I really do. I really want them to win. So yeah.
Dude, I love to hate Marchand.
Who doesn't?
They call him a rat.
Oh my lord, that guy takes so much crap, man.
See, here's okay. You know what? You know why jerseys? People always play by the book, right? Imagine if in Brad Marchand's jersey on the inside hem, you got a little stitching of a rat face on the inside. The team just made ordered 20 little mouse faces from China, or rat faces, and stitched them beside the GameWorn logo. I mean, people go crazy for that stuff. It's the hobby gets so generic after a while with everything being so perfect in the GameWorn tags. But imagine they did a little something like that. I guess they do it with the patches, but there's no, like, how something as a Gretzky from when he was with the Kings, he would have his, his son's initials in the inside of the jersey. You don't see little customizations and player specific things like that anymore, really, do you?
I think other than players do it, but
less
not
and
many.
less like jersey modifications. Like
unless
less.
Yeah, unless the jersey mod a double fight strap, or they sew in Velcro, or some sleeves being tightened or something. But I think the only things you find personalized are usually the goalie masks sometimes on the back plates.
You know what you don't see a lot anymore? The hems, right? You guys ever see the hems on like short players? They got them hemmed up, or the sleeves hemmed up, or like the bottoms hemmed up. You guys ever see those anymore?
Dude, I got this draper
Crosby does
that
it.
like if you
Crosby
put it on.
Uh-huh.
Dude, if you put on this draper, it looks like you have a damn belly shirt on. Like it's it like I'd be showing you my belly button. It's so gross. I'm like, it's embarrassing.
What year wear it?
I think it's got the one with the NHL 2000 patch, so that would be 99 2000.
So did they hem it up for him? Did they hem it up to like a first stripe?
Yeah, it's way hemmed, dude. It's way hemmed. If you compare it to the other one, you're just like, it's missing a lot of color. It's like they grabbed it with their fist and then stitched it. There's so much material just folded in. It's ridiculous.
You guys see a lot of that anymore? Like, and with the like the cutout fight straps was another thing you used to see, right?
Yeah, now you can't
Who's
because of NHL rules.
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Who's got the extra long tail? Didn't somebody have like an extra long tail or something?
Chara had extra long sleeves. Remember, you'd see his like mutant fucking jerseys where they took like another like pro jersey and they took the sleeves off that and they made his sleeves longer. Remember those ones?
And you used to see a lot of Titan sleeves, and I think with the new, especially with the Adidas jerseys, because in the arms of those, I can tell you, wearing one with gear, it is super tight through the arms. You see some guys that have them pulled back halfway up their elbow pads, but you used to see the older CCMs or some of those where the guys would have the sleeves either just tighten up at one fabric point, or like I have a Mike Eastwood, he put elastic in the sleeves that made him damn near tight to his wrists.
I've seen that before.
I just don't seem to see much of that overall.
I have a Brett Gallant where the chest is hemmed inside. It's a size 56. I can't put it on my. Yeah, like it's tight around the chest. Like I don't. Like I can wear a 56, but I can't put it on. Like it's kind of cinched in the sides. Oh, damn it! I'll get a video to show you.
Solomon used to do the same thing. So his sleeves, they used to cut the sleeves down the back of the wrist all the way up to the armpit, and they used to put like a stretchy fabric in there for him. And then he would also wear like these like little elastic armband things. Jersey. It was really cool, man. But you never, because the NHL now, I mean, like they don't even allow Ovechkin to tuck his fucking jersey in anymore. Like, what kind of customizations are they gonna, allow? So that's really sad, honestly.
So, Derek, I don't know if you can see the video. What they do is they take the sides and then they just like fold it inside, and it's hemmed where it's sewed when you like. I don't know. I guess it's for when he's fighting. So.
It's just maybe, I guess maybe with some of the younger players coming up into the league that they don't have those kind of things now, or the guys aren't doing the modifications that they used to do. They just said, "Here's your jersey."
Like the farm teams are doing that stuff. I bet they are.
Dude, I see more mods coming out of the ECHL and the AHL than I see in the NHL right now.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm wondering why. Because there isn't that many modification rules for the NHL.
But they made Ovechkin tuck in his fucking jersey. Like I'm sure they're Nazis on a lot of that.
He did not tuck it in.
Sorry?
Right? He's not allowed to tuck it in, right?
Yeah, he can't tuck it in.
You can't.
I feel like I always see it like end up there anyway.
I don't know. Like, imagine, like, would they find the guy in the playoffs for tucking in this? Could you imagine the outrage? It would make the NHL look like fucking idiots if they did that.
It'll make them look like the NFL.
Yeah, the no fun league, exactly. So.
I don't know. I just you used to see ones that were like the seams would be split up so far for some of the guys that fought, or you used just to see some really cool stuff at the NHL level, and it's just. I think I have a couple from probably 2 or 3 seasons ago of different guys, but I just don't think there's that many at the NHL that do it. I mean, other than a few.
I remember like when fight straps first came out in the late 70s and the early 80s, you couldn't get the jerseys that teams would order for their players would come without fight straps, right? Because the jersey manufacturers weren't making them with fight straps in them. So the really cool things about the jerseys from those eras was that the team, would sew a custom-made fight strap into the jersey. I think that's why a lot of people, gravitate towards the vintage stuff, because it despite the fact they wore less jerseys, and it had more character in a way, it didn't feel so manufactured.
My favorite thing about the old jerseys is when they didn't have a fight strap and the team didn't put one on, but the player wanted one, put a fucking penny and wrap a skate lace around it, bam, fight strap.
Yeah.
And you have people now that have never seen that before, right? So they're like posting pictures online, like, is this legit? It's like, yeah, dude, that was the thing. And then you have people that have no clue, and they're like, there's no way that's a thing. Somebody just did that. And it's like, no, like, legit, it's a penny. And you can open up the fight strap on a 70s jersey, and it's like, all right, there's a 1972 penny right in there.
And those are maybe we do that some week is have people ahead of time submit crazy jersey modifications and kind of review some of the ones that people have, and just like find some of the craziest, like you said, Derek, with your super ass shortened hem.
It's so embarrassing. Put it on, man. I wanna have Tom put it on.
If it doesn't fit you,
I'll finally have a man bra. Got you to laugh on that one. I'd be like Chris Farley, fat man in a little coat.
And now, are you guys hearing anything as far as talk for third jerseys for next year? I know they were.
No, I've heard they're not.
I thought that was a thing.
Originally, it was just supposed to be 1 year, and then they were going to go back to allowing teams.
I've heard from multiple people. Granted, I don't know, but that they weren't going. They're going to wait another year. Like they were going to not that next season, but soon. So.
Well, there were loopholes, right? Like the Stadium Series and the Winter Classic stuff. That's all.
Yeah, because those are specialty games.
Right. So now you got to wonder if they're just doing that to kind of like heighten the market on those jerseys. But I mean, whatever. I guess if it's their first year in, they get a pass, right?
Come on, bro. We need more jerseys in the hobby. All right, we need like 5 alternate sets and
we need
9 special editions.
Every period, player worn jerseys. So there's 246 jerseys a year, for sure.
We need 1 jersey per period.
That's what I'm saying, man. 246 jerseys per player per year.
On. Let me do the math in my head. 82 times 3.
It's right.
That's a lot.
It's 246.
Let me open up my calculator.
Where'd you Americans go to school?
America.
Okay, that was a stupid question.
No, it's America.
America.
Listen, man, just because you don't know how to speak American.
That language exchange rate's awful.
I had a fan tell me that when I'd wrestle. I had a fan tell me I didn't speak American.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. Well, because I did my Russian wrestler gimmick, and I used an accent. And he goes, "We speak American around here." I go, "I have better English than what you do."
That's a little Scottish Russian there, by the way.
Yeah, the Scottish Russian.
Well, I haven't done the Russian accent in a long time, so.
Does anybody keep track of the Sabres shit?
I don't know. It's always on NHL auctions. So
we got a commenter saying that the Sabres wore their Winter Classic style for 3 other games.
I could see that. Why wouldn't they? Right? Like
the Blues did that last year. So I'm not surprised they got permission to do it.
I don't know. That's weird.
Well, you try to get some more.
So then, is that considered alternate jersey then, since they wore beyond the Winter Classic?
I would say yeah, but they probably didn't wear the Winter Classic jerseys beyond the Winter Classic. They probably just got another jersey they could wear beyond the Winter, another Winter Classic jersey they could wear beyond the Winter Classic, right?
I don't know. I didn't really watch the Winter Classic this year. It's bad for me, I suppose, but I didn't.
I think it's honestly it's losing its pizzazz, just because they have so many fucking Winter Classics every year. It's not like it was like the first or second year. Now it's like, it's a novelty. I mean, the jerseys still command a higher value, but still.
Yeah, you've watered it down so much. It's part of the problem. In case you're looking for Islanders jerseys, they're out on NHL auctions. They're all starting at $250, which isn't bad, but I mean it is the Islanders too.
No.
So
we're complaining. Listen, we're always complaining about no centralized place to buy jerseys, right? And the NHL instituted the fact that every jersey in their league has to be done by Adidas. What's to say in the future that every jersey that you could ever hope to buy or go on an auction for isn't done by the NHL? Isn't that what we're all hoping for, right? A centralized place? But we would be appalled if that was the case. Oh, now we have to all go through the NHL auction, site to get our jerseys.
I would strangely be okay with that.
Would you actually? I was wondering if anyone was going to be okay with that.
It's not that it's centralized that the NHL does it or a company does it.
I just want to know when shit happens. It's hard for me to track when shit happens. The only time I know when shit happens is when somebody else tells me, "Hey, shit's happening." By the time that happens, is usually too late. I ain't got the fucking time to keep track of 30 social media pages that update me on the scores of the game.
Yeah, but you like to collect everything though, and most collectors don't like to do that. Most collectors have
It's not even about collecting everything. I just like to see what's out there, because in the off chance that there's something cool, something that resonates in me, I can fucking put a bid on it. It doesn't happen that often, but sometimes it happens. It's just nice to know when stuff happens and what's out there and what's going on.
No, I agree. Any other final comments before we wrap things up?
Stay on the call after. I got a story.
The
story time.
Stockton Heat's jerseys go up tomorrow, and the Condors have their equipment sale Saturday.
Maybe we'll start trying to get some more lists out there too for all the other sales. Like I said, Dallas is the 5th of May. A couple other ones coming out. I've not heard too many NHL teams doing theirs yet. Dallas, I think. Well, the Kings
Flames is coming.
Yeah, Flames should be not far. So there's a few. Other than that,
Flames should probably be. I'm gonna say Flames should probably be Memorial Weekend. That's usually Memorial Day weekend in the U.S.
Yeah, they're coming. It's coming quickly. So they probably will start popping up here.
Yeah, we'll start.
At the time of the year.
Everybody will start saying, "Hey, if you're going to this one, pick up that or whatever." But at least you know what? There's a lot of nice collectors that do go do that stuff for people. I know Derek's done it. I've done it. Dan, you've done it. I think all of us have for somebody. So hope everybody enjoyed the show. Derek, I'm glad you were still able to join us from Nashville, and I think things sounded and ran fine. So appreciate all your help. Gentlemen.
Good job, Doc.
2 weeks. See you then.
See ya.
Do it. Later.